You couldn't bury me. You couldn't bury anyone.
You take me to him. Take me to the son of a bitch. Take me to him. Come on. Go, go, go.
Hello and welcome to our wrestling perspective. If you want to make it your wrestling perspective, all you need to do is add Y.
No, I'm not.
You're probably thinking, why am I so amped up? It's probably the fact that I haven't wiped my bum after making a boom boom in 4 weeks. You know how long and how much these toilet papers cost? But this is now episode 6. Just kidding, this is episode 6 of our weekly perspective. We will be looking at the professional wrestling week of the 9th of March, which is a Monday for me, 2020, up to the 15th of March on a Sunday, 2020. Yes, the whole week of wrestling. A couple pay-per-views and that, but other pay-per-views got cancelled because of the virus.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So to kick off episode 6, we're going to be looking at none other than WWE presents Elimination Chamber 2020. There's only 5 points that stuck out to me. This was probably one of those cards that you looked at and been like, yeah, I can watch it a couple days later. But it was surprisingly one of those cards that overperformed on what it looked like because, yeah, it was good. Let's look into the points. First point being for WWE Elimination Chamber 2020, the pre-show. We're talking about R-Truth. He confuses Elimination Chamber for Wrestlemania. Even though pre-shows, they do have hidden gems here and there. Do you hear these birds going off? It's truly apocalypse. But we're going to continue. R-Truth mistaking Elimination Chamber for Wrestlemania, saying that he's going to meet his childhood hero, John Cena. It's all fantastic whenever R-Truth goes on screen, and he kind of made the pre-show. Second point that stuck out to me, did you watch that Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan match? Holy, I didn't think that Daniel Bryan was going to walk out of this. And I thought he already had the short hair for it. He was just going to rock up to the empty arena of Smackdown and say, sorry guys, I just haven't got it. And he's just going to say this to no one because no one's going to be there. Because he landed on his neck so many times he just folded up like an accordion. We move on to the third point, and the third point being that there was a tag team elimination chamber matches filled with a couple little things that we have not seen before. Lindsay Dorado actually nailing the top of the cage flip when other people just drop. He actually did a proper flip, and then Otis just running through a pod into the outside. But why is the inside pod door open? I'm so confused. Now off to the fourth point, we saw the handicap match for the Intercontinental Championship. Was Braun Strowman going to bury Cesaro, Shinsuke and Sami Zayn all in one sitting? But no. We finally see a new Rolex champion, a new Intercontinental champion, because the belt currently looks like a watch. Like a Rolex watch that you'd wear around your wrist. But it's about time that we saw Sami Zayn capture a championship on the WWE main roster. You were probably thinking, didn't he before? No, this is his legit first one. And his legit first run with a title in NXT didn't go so well because his own friends like, you know what, mate? I'm going to power bomb you. Now off to the fifth point, and the fifth point being the main event of Elimination Chamber, and such a dominant performance by none other than the Nightmare Fuel herself, Shayna, the Queen of Spades, Baszler. I was trying to botch up like what, who called her the Queen of Hearts, so I'm not too sure, but that's actually Natalia's nickname. But talking about Natalia, she was in a match, but just Shayna ran through all of them. She's like, come here. You come here. Yeah, you come here. Now a day after the WWE Elimination Chamber, we moved on to none other, I'll do it again, Monday Night Raw. See, I'm trying to find the perfect volume to how I can say it and how it doesn't become cringy. Now let's look at the 5 points that Monday Night Raw gave to me. The first point being, after Rhea Ripley done her entrance when Charlotte was speaking a bit of running her mouth, wow. Speaking a bit of running her mouth in the ring, Rhea Ripley came out with her entrance, doing a massive stomp that'll make the Germans blush, but the minute she got to the ring, we saw a legit one punch it to the shoulder that Charlotte legit went like, ah! Second point being, That's right, I can do crazy laughs just like the Kabuki Warriors. I love their promo time. When are they actually going to get a tag team to feud up against them? Pick an NXT UK makeshift tag team to go up against them. They need a legit tag team. They're your women's tag team champions. Third point being, the phenomenal one went phenomenally savage. See what I did there? No, Taker didn't see what he did there. He basically buried his wife and Taker at the same time. He's like, I'm not talking to the badass Taker. I'm not talking to the dead man Taker or the Limp Bizkit. I think that well, he had two songs as the badass. That's why I'm including him as two different characters. But AJ Styles, he's gonna get it because his promo was savage. If you haven't seen it, go back. He ripped into him, good and proper. AJ Styles knew that I was talking about him. They brought the OC in a plane after me. Fourth point being that we saw Edge rock up to the ring after MVP is like, I need a new client, I need a new faction. He was gonna do whatever he does. Edge came out and he was like, just give me the mic. He went all crazy, just patting his head like he usually does. Like, come out like to Randy Orton, because he was sick of all the crap. He wanted his revenge after what he did to his wife. But after I just mentioned wife, guess what MVP said? He turned around and he goes to Edge and he's like, how's your wife? He says wife. If he just said, how's your wife? How's your wife doing? Nothing would have happened. But he said wife. And then that's when Edge turned around and delivered one spirits. Then out of nowhere we saw Randall Keith Orton trying to beat down Edge. But we didn't see that. No, we saw Edge deliver an EKO. Or is it an RKO? Edge knockout? Either way, it was an RKO. He didn't perfect the spear, nor did he perfect this. And point number 5 being, where to now for Aleister Black? Honestly, for The Undertaker and Kane were going to team up with Aleister Black to go to WrestleMania to face the OC, which probably would have been a better match, making more stars in the making. But it honestly confuses me, because Aleister Black looked like he was going to be a makeshift within that scene, or... Now after Monday Night Raw, where does that move us? That moves us on to the Wednesday Night War between AEW and NXT. Before I go any further, I always say this. You can love all professional wrestling, but some weeks you may have a preference in what you watch. It may be the black and gold brand did it for you this week, or it may be that All Elite Wrestling snuck in your head the whole week. But we're going to find out who won it for us, how our weekly perspective went, and they each have 3 points. Let's start. Starting off with the All Elite brand, All Elite Wrestling, AEW on TNT Dynamite. The 3 points that stuck out to me. First point being, I know that we give a little bit of crap to WWE giving lackluster debuts to some of the people, but to see Lance Archer with Jake the Snake was a shock. But kinda wasn't a shock, but the way that they just walked to the front row when we're just sitting watching a match. Yeah, I know it's devious, it's the alternative, but the guy doesn't even get music or a vignette. Nothing. He gets Jake the Snake, which is a good thing. It's a massive manager, but... Second point being, I have a sneaky prediction that All Elite Wrestling are going to add some new belts, and it might be even the 6-man tag team championships, because the way that they have a triangle, Delamorte or Death Triangle, the way that you pronounce it, then you have Jurassic Express and even Best Friends rocking up to help Joey Janela and Parade. There's a lot of 6-man teams, I'm not even including the Dark Order, the Strong Hearts, and SCU. Yeah, actually it might seem like they might have 6-man tag belts soon. Don't say that I told you this, we'll keep it a sneaky little secret. And third and final point, this is what I don't get, yeah? Besides, I know that Jon Moxley is your new World Heavyweight Champion of All Elite Wrestling, which is a good thing because there's a new wave, because maybe Jericho's buggering off with his tour for a couple days. But anyway, you had him in an interview, Moxley, that was in an interview with Jim Ross, that was earlier that night, that was really edity and choppy. How the hell is Inner Circle, I don't know why this led up to this, but how the hell is Inner Circle more OP without them holding the world gold than they've ever been? They've ended off both episodes of All Elite Wrestling going like this. Now we are moving on to the black and gold brand NXT. The 3 points that stuck out to me, first being they were in the PC. See, I tried to make it rhyme, I'm going to stop now, but in the PC was a nice venue change, was a very nice venue change. And the second point being for NXT that stuck out to me was Keith Lee holding up his championship. Then Damon Priest, he just hit Keith Lee in the back. Keith Lee doing one of the best reactions I've ever seen with someone getting hit in the back, just and then dropping. But he didn't know he was Priest, so when Dominic came out and said, "Don't worry, mate, I got your back," he turned around and he powerbombed him. Sram Tabila. See, that's Croatia for shame on you, Keith. It wasn't even him. Third and final point that stuck out to me for NXT. We're talking about Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. It's like another DIY feud. What is this? This feud has been going on for ages. You could turn on NXT like 2 years ago and probably see that it's still the main event. Ding-a-ding-a-ding. So who won it for me? Was it All Elite Wrestling or was it NXT? That's right. It was NXT that did it for me this week. It was the venue change in the PC, and I get that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, we've been saying that for years, but just the way that they built this episode and Velveteen Dream basically going back after the World Heavyweight Championship, you can't beat this NXT. Well, they definitely beat AEW, but then AEW beat NXT in the ratings, but only my opinion matters, not the TV. Now we're off to NXT UK, to the wrong part. The 3 points that stuck out to me, first point being, if this was legitimate and not pre-taped, Finn Balor would actually be legitimately stuck in the UK, but now since we know that it's pre-taped, we know that Finn Balor is back in the US with the border restrictions. Mate, you're not going nowhere. But that's basically what your president said in the US of A. Second point being, you're probably like, why did you rub yourself like that? That looked wrong. It's Pretty Deadly's debut onto NXT UK. I'm telling you, say they're just adding more tag teams into this, and Pretty Deadly, just the way that they had their mannerisms, not like me, that's just the normal mannerism that I do. And third point and final point for NXT UK that really stuck out to me, besides Finn Balor being on the actual episode, besides Noam Dar being on the episode, there's a lot that really stuck out to me, but Noam Dar wasn't even a point, but I mentioned his name because I like him as a heel. But anyway, Kaylee Ray is probably the dominant women's champion of a WWE brand right now. Like, legitimately, she has no competitors that are equivalent to her currently that haven't been built like her on NXT UK. Toni Storm, knocked off the shelf. Piper Niven, helping out Toni Storm. Io Valkyrie, we still need to wait for the rise. Now we're off to the blue brand, but before we do that, you're like, why are you wearing a jumper? I'm like, it's a bit cold. You're like, nah, take it off, fine.
I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy.
Now let's talk about the 5 points that stuck out to me in the WWE blue brand. First point being that they were in the PC, it was an empty arena, but they kicked it off with Sasha Banks. So this was an early time to fantastically relieve everything I have in the morning. I'm talking about a legit poopski. Second point being the L bump, it doesn't look like it's catching on Jimmy Kimmel, because guess what? Triple H still shakes hands. He shook hands with Michael Cole.
Short-handed tonight, Cole.
Third point that stuck out to me, Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan are finally working together. Yes! And they had a match later on that night of Cesaro, with Daniel Bryan Cesaro. Yes! Fourth point that stuck out to me, Mojo Rawley confirms that the Gronk is going to become a WWE superstar, and he will have his debut next week on Friday Night Smackdown. But what really made me laugh, a little giggle, what really made me laugh was Mojo and Triple H just shaking up Michael Cole, just giving him a bit of a bashing, like he deserved.
Come on, Cole! Come on!
And the fifth and final point that stuck out to me for Friday Night Smackdown, the blue brand, with this plane flying over that's really loud. I don't care, I'm going to explain it anyway. You had Bray Wyatt and John Cena end off Smackdown in the empty arena, making Bray Wyatt even look 10 times more creepier when no one's around him besides him and John Cena in an empty arena. How can you trust him in a ring with him? Like, he ended off that way, because something following that wouldn't seem natural, because yeah, lucky you ended off with Bray Wyatt empty in the arena. Probably everyone left by that time, and they're just like, yeah, just when you finish just talking, just put the logo up, get rid of it. Now we are done with that WWE programming and we are moving on to other wrestling. With the subject of other wrestling, we're going to start off with Impact Wrestling because it has wrestling in the name. The 3 points that stuck out to me on Impact Wrestling was none other than the first point. We saw Sabu return to help Rhino. Like, I love seeing me a bit of Sabu, but the whole ECW formations of teaming up, I don't want to say it's done and dead in the water, but okay, it's good either way. Second point being, we're talking about Chris Sabin, and he was talking about how he's now in a backstage role in Impact Wrestling, and how he will be the special guest referee for the World Championship match of the King of the Mountain when it comes to TNA Homecoming. And who walked into that segment just to make it more like gold was none other than Moose, because he didn't understand the rules of the King of the Mountain, and the way that Sabin explained them seemed so natural, didn't seem like, oh well, no. This. But it was fantastic, even how Moose buried the match. And last but not least, point number 3 has Ace Austin turned face. Because when Johnny Swinger and Glenn Gilberti, aka Disco Inferno, when they faced off against Willie Mack, who helped Willie Mack when he had no partner? Ace Austin. What? Now moving on to Major League of Wrestling MLW Fusion 101. The 2 points that stuck out to me, first point being that they teamed up for the PWI not only to make a top 10 contender list, to say who can go up against Jacob Fatu, who's a legitimate threat, which was nice by the way, but they also awarded the 2019 PWI Rookie of the Year to the loose cannon seed, the Brian Pillman Jr. Even though it was a 2019 award, you can tell how old this is pre-taped. And you know how old this pre-taped? Because the main event finally saw Killer Cross arrive and take on Tom Lawler, which was a fantastic match. And that was our weekly perspective, episode 6. See what I did there? I did the Illuminati 6 and the 3 6s, but there was a Zerum here, there was a Wrestling Incorporated. But I want to say thank you to the 80 subscribers. You are now a part of the rocket ship straight up to the OWP Galaxy. See that? It was
very nice.
If you like what you saw, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And you know what you can do that's really sneaky? See that red button? That's down there, but then it can be up here. There's 2 red buttons, but make sure you click both of them. Well, the one that says subscribe, either way, make sure you sneakily click that subscribe. And what's that? I did the whole hand gesture, but it wasn't even the hand gesture is to spank that notification bell. Yeah. That's the end, mate.
Come on, Joel! Come on!